At the Mao hour, Lan Wangji opened his eyes right on time. Habitually, he pushed away the arm resting on his chest, only to unsurprisingly be held tighter by the other person. Then, Lan Wangji tried to move the knee that was placed on his thigh, but this time, Wei Wuxian furrowed his brows in displeasure in his sleep, and instead of moving away, rubbed a certain place back and forth even more vigorously. Although this kind of thing happened almost every day, and Lan Wangji should have been used to it. But men were always particularly energetic in certain parts in the morning, and last night they just happened not to do that thing. Lan Wangji stared at the ceiling, letting Wei Wuxian rub against him a couple more times, then suddenly made up his mind and sat up, pressing his body on top of Wei Wuxian's. Wei Wuxian mumbled, his long eyelashes fluttered, and his eyes slowly opened a slit. He looked at him drowsily and slurred, "Lan Zhan?" Lan Wangji gently touched his cheek with his hand and left a kiss by his lips. Wei Wuxian said nothing, his gaze full of confusion from being reluctantly awakened, staring blankly at Lan Wangji, seeming unable to comprehend the situation before him, motionless. Usually, he was proactive, so rarely did he look so naive and lost. In Lan Wangji's eyes, this looked surprisingly alluring. With a slight thought, he reached into Wei Wuxian's chest, tore open his undergarment's collar, felt the protruding part on his chest, slowly kneaded it between his fingers, then went on to kiss his neck. Wei Wuxian, Lan Zhan. Lan Wangji responded with a low, Meanwhile, his hand began to knead the other's waist and abdomen, Wei Wuxian's sensitive spot. Being touched there, he really couldn't bear it and arched his waist, instinctively reaching out to push him away. Lan Zhan, Lan Zhan. Wei Wuxian tried to sit up, his shaky hands pressing on Lan Wangji's shoulders, trying to push him away. "What are you doing?" "Don't know." Lan Wangji's hand touched his lower body. Lan Zhan, stop! Realizing where he was touching, Wei Wuxian's resistance suddenly intensified. His confused eyes widened and his legs flailed non-stop. "Calm down! Lan Zhan, do you hear me? I said calm down?" Perhaps somewhat displeased at his untimely struggling, Lan Wangji simply blocked his mouth and gently sucked on his tongue, working harder with his hand. Wei Wuxian's both hands pushed desperately against Lan Wangji's shoulders. Maybe because he was weak just after waking up, he struggled less fiercely than the last time he shouted to entice Lan Wangji to be forceful. Lan Wangji merely thought he was playing some kind of erotic game again, continuing what he was doing. Soon, 2 red blushes appeared on Wei Wuxian's face. Kissing to the point that his breathing became uneven, Lan Wangji finally released his mouth with satisfaction, unbuttoned his own clothes, and leaned forward to enter. Wei Wuxian took a deep breath, but did not have time to take a second. He fiercely pushed Lan Wangji's shoulders and shouted, "Lan Zhan, Lan Wangji, I'm telling you to stop. Didn't you hear me?" Lan Wangji finally noticed that something seemed wrong with Wei Wuxian, below him. Slightly surprised, he raised his head to look at his face. Wei Wuxian's face was flushed, lips moist, eyes wide open. Seeing Lan Wangji removing his clothes in front of him, a subtle hint of fear appeared in his eyes. Lan Wangji slowly got up, grabbed his hand but did not immediately let go, frowned and pondered for a moment, then uncertainly said, "Wei Ying, do you have memory loss, huh?" Wei Wuxian blinked innocently, saying, "No, I'm perfectly fine, aren't I?" He raised his hand to pat Lan Wangji's shoulder. "But what's with that expression? Did the sun rise in the west today?" Lan Wangji frowned at him. The panic on Wei Wuxian's face vanished completely, as if everything just now had been a hallucination. He let out a big yawn, and without a trace, slipped out from under Lan Wangji's body. Sitting up as if nothing had happened, he casually asked, "Where did I put my clothes, Lan Zhan?" Lan Wangji handed him the neatly folded clothes placed aside. Wei Wuxian smiled in thanks, humming a couple of lines of a song as he put on the clothes, then got off the bed to wear his shoes. Stretching leisurely, he walked to the window and looked outside. "The weather's nice out. I'll go for a walk." Lan Wangji said, then added, "Have breakfast when you come back." Wei Wuxian nodded. "Okay." After speaking, he pushed the door open and walked out, hands behind his back. Wei Wuxian stepped outside and strolled a few steps slowly, intentionally heading towards a rockery. Soon, he came around behind it. Then, as if suddenly drained of strength, his shoulders slumped and he leaned heavily against it. Wei Wuxian blankly raised his right hand and twisted his left arm hard. Damn, it hurt so much. He jumped up in pain, then quickly started rubbing the spot, thinking, so I wasn't dreaming? What's going on? Shouldn't I be lying peacefully at the burial mound? This place looks exactly like cloud recesses. How did I get here? Sleepwalking? Calm down, I must stay calm, Wei Wuxian told himself. What just happened was, I was sleeping in the same bed with Lan Zhan, and judging by his expression it seemed like he wanted to. Feeling his cheeks heat up again, Wei Wuxian slapped his own face to force himself to quickly switch to another question. What about Wen Qing and Wen Ning? Did I promise Lan Zhan something? Oh God, why can't I remember even a little bit? Leaning against the rockery, hands clasped behind his head, stomping his feet wildly, he was close to breaking down. He truly could not remember anything. He clearly went to lie down in the demonic cave the night before. So how did he wake up the next day suddenly in cloud recesses and sleeping next to Lan Wangji? No matter how hard he racked his brain, he couldn't make sense of it. After a tough mental struggle, although he still couldn't understand why, he finally had to admit one fact. Maybe his memory really had been damaged like Lan Wangji said. So the question was, what exactly did he promise Lan Wangji? Otherwise, how did they become so intimate? He didn't dare recall what happened just now in bed, and definitely felt he couldn't ask Lan Wangji directly. He had always been self-reliant. So after hesitating a moment, he quickly resolved. No matter what, he had to go back and check the burial mound first. Wei Wuxian arranged his expression carefully to look composed on the surface, then leisurely returned to the room where he had come from. He clearly remembered that to enter or leave cloud recesses one needed a jade token. He planned to look for it and try his luck. As it turned out, his luck was indeed quite good. Lan Wangji was not in the room, so Wei Wuxian was free to rummage around. Eventually, he found something on the desk that looked exactly like a jade token, probably something Lan Wangji had left behind when he left. How could Lan Wangji be so careless? Wei Wuxian had no time to think further, pocketed the token, and decisively headed for the cloud recesses mountain gate, avoiding people's eyes all the way, dodging here and there. Finally, reaching the forest outside the boundary, he leaned against a tree to catch his breath. Just as he hadn't calmed down yet, a very familiar figure dressed in white suddenly appeared before him.